Hey y'all, today I'm here with Lincoln and Nikki from BoardGameGeek, and they brought Settlers of Catan. Not only is it a game changer, but in this case, it's a career changer. I'm James Hudson, and this is Starting Roll. Nikki, Lincoln, welcome.
Hey, thanks for having us.
So, BGG.
Yes, sir.
What is a BGG? Is that like that was a 70s band, right?
the BGGs?
I love staying alive.
Okay. Well, BoardGameGeek is a community website that basically everything is put in by the users. That's how it all started. It was started in 2000, actually before Wikipedia started.
Okay.
And so it's a similar kind of thing where it's a database of as many games as we can possibly, the publishers or users submit them and you get rewards in the Geek Gold and stuff like that. But it's a place for everybody to go on the web to find out as much as they can about games. There's a tremendous amount of sharing of information and stuff like that. And
I keep up with it too because like when I brag about our percentage on where one of our games is in the rankings, I'm like, we're in the top 12% or...
Yeah, you figured that out. I have no idea on that stuff. But I mean, I do use it. That was how we played this game, and immediately I searched on the web. Yeah. And at that time, now Catan is like all over the place on the web, but back then, I think the first site I came up with was BoardGameGeek, and went, and then I think they didn't have users, or maybe they added something that finally got me to do it a little bit later that year to actually add an account.
Right.
Probably were unsure.
Lurking. Yeah. Do I want to get involved in this weird place?
Yeah.
But it is a great site. It's deep.
It is.
You can really go down the rabbit hole on that one.
But it was really good for starting out. That's, I mean, once we played this, we're like, we want more.
Right.
And Lincoln found that site, and it helped us find more games and get more involved in the hobby, because at the time it was, where do we go to find out about these games? Where did this came from? Germany? How to get?
I think one of the things that's interesting about the game, the website is when you initially go there, it's information overload. But if you're watching this the first time, like just go to the top, and if there's a game you're interested in, type in the game's name, and it'll take you to the game's page, and then everything is like encapsulated on that one page.
Yeah.
That's videos, how to play, instructions, players' reviews. Like you can get all that information, but you do have to kind of find your way into it.
Yeah, it is challenging. People joke that it's like, oh, this is the website from the 90s, which is almost true. Yeah. But it isn't anything like it looked like back in the day. I remember it looking like a blog. Right. It's much different now.
So you've got BoardGameGeek, and then underneath that, you have Game Night. And I'm wearing your shirt. That's Lincoln. That's Nikki. Right there.
Thank you.
Obviously Beatle fans.
Yeah. Fan art too.
What is Game Night?
Well, Game Night came about from Scott Alden, who's the creator of BoardGameGeek.
Aldi!
Co-creators, yep. And he wanted us, he really liked our group, thought we were fun, and wanted us to do a show. And we were, at the time, like, who's gonna wanna watch anybody play a game for 2 hours? And then Tabletop came out, which he was excited about because he thought, finally, this is gonna be what I wanna see. And it was edited, which was disappointing to him because he likes video game playthroughs where you see the whole thing. Mm-hmm. So I talked with Nikki after that it was 7 years ago, just pretty much now. Yeah. And we decided we should do it because number one, we weren't playing games enough. We love board games, but we were so busy with life and work.
So I think what I like best about Game Night's format, right, is Dave does a phenomenal job typically of explaining the rules.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
So like if there's a game you're interested in, you can see if there's a Game Night episode on it, right? Then you get a quick teach. I've heard many, many stories of people saying, I watched a game night, saw blah blah game played, and then I had to go get it.
Right.
Oh yeah, that's a big thing. That's what we're trying to do is promote the games. We only feature things that we're excited about. We don't put on. We're not here to tear down anybody, and we don't. We're agnostic. That's what BGG is. We're promoting the hobby. So it's really what it's all about. So if we're not having a good time, and there's some games that are slog, and we do feature games because like we do the SDJ coverage. Those are games that are determined by others that we will be playing, right? And so sometimes they're not the best for the show, but they are good games almost.
And people want to know about them. They want to see them
Absolutely, that's the whole point of doing that.
And a game that
Poor
people
Nikki,
have probably seen once or twice if they're into board games. Like at this point, Catan is probably Monopoly, Scrabble, Risk, Catan. Like it's probably in that top 5.
Oh, yeah.
I know it's a modern classic, but give us a little bit of background on why y'all chose Catan to be the featured game of like how it changed your lives, how it brought you together.
We had a friend come over And we decided, and he had brought a game, and he's like, let's play this board game. And Lincoln and I were kind of like, okay, yeah.
So totally weren't in the board games at the time.
Well,
A little bit.
so our group had started out as a board game thing based on a friend of mine when we were kids played with these older guys. We played games with them every Friday. And so when we moved near each other, he's like, let's do a game night. And Nikki flipped out for it.
I'm like, yes, we need to make this
so
happen.
we did that for
Yeah, why?
My little story is funny. I always liked board games, could never find people to play. My parents would get me a board game or two for Christmas.
Mall Madness or Clue, old classics.
And
Mystery
okay,
Date.
great, Mom and Dad. You're the only people I know in the world right now because I'm very young, and let's play. We don't like board games. So I had these board games, and they would get me board games, and they're like, we don't like board games. Then my grandparents would come over and visit, and they were, of course, being grandparents, so they had Uno and Skippo and all of those games.
Sure.
So I learned all of those games from my grandparents.
So you already had a love for board games.
Yeah.
But it was like, yes, give me some more of that social interaction with like my peers.
Right. Well, yeah, and I had the funny thing is I had a boyfriend in high school, and his parents liked board games, and at the time that was the Pictionary and Scattergories and those kind of games were around.
Sure.
And we would go over to his place on Friday nights, and we would play these board games with his parents, and I loved doing that.
So like, what's special about Catan? What's some of the interactions that y'all had that really like you knew that it was like, this is, because I think, what was it that you said before? It was like, you played this and you were like, if all games are like this.
Yeah. It was speedy enough. It didn't drag on. There was an end in sight. Those sorts of things. Those constantly just hit the leader, and it drags on forever before.
Tug of war.
After everybody's
We're looking at you, Monopoly.
done having fun, are just, they're just horrible. So having this where there was rounds and it was an end and you knew it was
10 points,
coming,
whatever.
Sure.
and that was really that was the eye opener for that.
For me, it was the interaction aspect, right? That you, there is confrontation, there is, the rob or steal stuff and the card that takes, all of one type of good. It's rough, but it's fun, and I like that it also forces you to trade. It was one of the first games I played that was that much trading going on.
Sure.
Because that you had to do it to survive. It's kind of the French aesthetic that Nikki's always, anytime she's like, oh, there's a French design, because they're like confrontational stuff. This is lighter than that, but it has those elements that I kind of sought out from. A fine example of that was a negotiation game called Chinatown, which was like number 2 or something like that in the Alea series, and that was a crazy game with lots of negotiation, which I'd never done. I never played diplomacy or anything at that time, so it was a new experience for me as well.
Well, it's funny that you laid that all out, because I feel like that's what Catan did for a lot of people, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like you take that grouping of older classic type games that you played with family games, and then you get this modern classic that is more strategy. It was like the tipping point, right? Even I played this with the Jordans. Hey Jordans, hey Mandy and CJ. we played this with them, and I didn't immediately fall in love with it, but I did enjoy the idea of like, I wonder what other games are out there, right?
Opened your eyes, right?
Yeah, it really did.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. And for us, when Daryl brought the game and taught us, it was truly eye-opening. We both immediately wanted to play it again right away, and that started the whole search, right, for more stuff.
Yeah.
What happened was we had, jumping back, but we had actually migrated away from board games almost immediately, started playing land gaming, and then that's when board games came back in, and it was I think when I was going to game stores, I was the guy that always bought the games.
Yep.
I was going to game stores, and one of the guys showed me the original Mayfair version of this game, which was all muddy and like pictures of wood and things like that. And it was kind of expensive at that point in time, and I didn't buy it. Now, I wonder what it would have changed if I had gotten into it 4 years earlier. But
What was some of y'all's favorite land games? Because I know for me, it was probably Diablo 2. It was really fun to be like, that initial, like, I'm on the same map with 16 people,
Yeah.
Well, MMOs now. But we played Quake 3 Arena.
Okay.
A lot. StarCraft.
Age of Kings, Age of
man.
Empires.
Yeah. I could never keep up in StarCraft. Like I just didn't have the what is it?
The map?
The movements per second thing.
Oh yeah. We're not that good. We never played with. It was always with our friends, right? We were never good enough to compete.
Well, now I think it's a great segue to talk about. So in those LAN games, it was fun to play with your friends, right?
Absolutely.
And so I think that's what there's some sort of connection that we want to have those social interactions. But board games,
I know, especially nowadays.
I would say, does it better?
Yes.
Well, for sure. I mean, LAN gaming was a pain in the rear, and then it obviously went to online gaming, and we don't even play games with our friends in the same place anymore,
Right.
unless we do this, which is fantastic. You know, it gets us to interact, and we get to talk to people, and it's always, for us, it's been much, much more social. We love to play games, but we also just love to see our friends, because we are involved in several groups and people that we don't see for 6 months at a time. We're actually going to see some people this weekend that we haven't played games with for a long time. And we just have been so busy, but it's great to, it's a great reason to get together, and then it gives us a reason to get
So there's probably somebody out there, I'm one of those people, and I still struggle with it even today because we're busy, right? We load up our days with our schedule, with errands and kid stuff and career stuff.
Yeah.
Board games seem to have that thing that just like, it quiets your mind.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And it connects you to the people that you're playing with.
Yeah.
How, why does it do that?
It's really fantastic because you are now listening to each other, you're paying attention to what each other is doing, which is important, and it's absolutely an oasis in our crazy lives, right? We have an opportunity to calm down and sit together and play games and pay attention to each other, which is really great.
Yeah, because I know like even just the other night, I was really tired. It'd been a really long day. I was even still working. It was like 7:30. My kids go to bed at 8:30. I was like, what game do I have? I need an hour of not being plugged in, you know? And we grabbed up a new game called Draftosaurus. It's
a fantastic game.
I love it because it's so fast to play. And even though that we were tired and stressed out, we went ahead and played like 2-3 rounds of the game.
Yeah.
And for that 30-40 minutes.
What was your favorite side of the board?
I haven't played the other side yet. I've only played Sunhammer so far. So because my son's 10 and like I didn't want to get too complicated. Honestly, I just really wanted an easy experience.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's just slightly different. It's not that complicated, of course, but it's a fantastic game.
Yeah.
And what you pick, you know, to relax. You can go, I want to think a lot, or I just want to throw some dice. And 10-minute game is about where I want to be in my head right now.
Sure. And I think you hit something there. Like when even those big thinky strategy games, what's great is you can't think about the stresses of your day.
No.
When you're working through some of those strategies. And I think that's like why we love jigsaw puzzles, right? Like when you're looking for the piece that you need, your brain can't multitask and worry about.
It's a solution, right? It works your brain for sure. That's what all these games are. Is that there's you always think that's one of the best things is when you're done. You're always like, I know I can do that better, right?
Right.
Or it was horrible, but you know, usually it's a positive experience, right?
Yeah.
Especially just because we have an opportunity to hang out and meet people, right? That's one of the best things about what we do now is that we meet people around the world and we all have this in common, and we may not even speak much of the same language.
That's right.
And we can play a game, and it's really,
But
really
we speak
fantastic.
gamer.
Yeah, we speak gamer.
It's funny you said that because I was at Essen for my first time last year. So I got there and I'm playing games with people who speak very broken English and I speak zero German.
Yes.
And we had a great time playing games together.
I know,
And
it's fantastic.
it's almost like math. You know, math is the universal language. Maybe board games is just like 1B.
Well, the good thing is most games are now designed to, you know, there's deeper games with lots of content on cards, but a lot of it is played with language independent components. So it's very simple to get the concepts and move along with it, right? And then you can graduate. We've had friends that have, their English skills have I feel terrible because I studied French and German and I recall none of it. And they are fantastic English speakers now. And it's just great. We now try to plan vacations around seeing them and stuff, which is really great.
Sure.
It's a really interesting hobby for sure in that.
So like if somebody sees this game and they're like, this seems like too much for me to worry about right now. I know one of the games that you're very high on is The Mind.
Yep.
And it's just a deck of cards.
Yep.
And probably the most simple rule set
Yeah.
in the history of a game.
Just put the numbers down in order.
What do you mean, just put the numbers down in an order?
So everybody gets a hand of cards starting in the first round with one card, and you must, without communicating, you can't say anything, play them in sequential order. And the game is fantastic because it forces you to pay attention to each other very, very closely.
Right.
And maybe pick up on
Subtle cues.
Yeah, exactly. Like
subtle.
Right.
And
right. Very.
It's a little detective-y.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's
Yeah.
we love that game. We actually did the show, and it's such a weird concept that you can actually, hey, let's just play a game where we're doing this in sequence. But
And
when
it happens, and it works.
I know, that was when I
Very-
first heard about it. I'm like, I couldn't believe it worked. I'm like, this is a game? And then
Right.
immediately was just blown away and could not stop talking about it. It is absolutely my most joyful gaming experience, is what I say, because when you get it right, you cannot but high-five each other. You know, it's so fantastic.
Yeah, there are a lot of those burst out loud moments and aha moments, right? Where when I realized the first time I played it, the first 2 rounds you gotta get through because you only have to play a few cards. But then you got like 5 cards in your hand, like, how are we gonna pull this off?
Yeah.
And this is what I love about the game. It has these moments that you distinctly remember, right? So I'm sitting there and I have like 88, 90, 91, and 93. So the whole time people are looking at me and I'm just like,
Yeah.
so I'm trying to look as disinterested in what's going on
Right.
as possible because you're trying to send out clues of like, I'm not next. And then and then they're over there like, you've got to have one of those cards have to be able to play. And you're like, but you can't be like, that's not, that breaks the thing, right? So, and then when it got there, somebody put down 87. I'm like, boom, 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 boom. And they're like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
it was great.
The fun of that is like when you have it where it's almost immediately played somebody's ready to go and you do it right before them and it actually gets right underneath them and you're actually correct.
What do you think about like, okay, I'm watching this, I've never played a lot of board games, I don't have a good group. One of the things I think people could go to is a convention, right? Because now you've walked into a room, a very large room, of people who want to play board games and are inviting. I mean, there's things they'll say players want it.
Yeah.
And you can just walk up and someone will teach you a game.
Absolutely.
And y'all have at BGG a couple of those throughout the year.
Oh yeah, we have the convention in the weekend before Thanksgiving, and then we have one in Memorial Day weekend, and then we have the cruises. And
Wait, so you're telling me you can get on a boat for a week and play board games?
Yep.
Yes.
It's what makes the cruise fun for me.
I've never done a board game cruise.
I don't think I'd
Board
want to do a
game
cruise. But yeah.
Well, the days that you're stuck at sea, what else are you gonna do?
All right, so y'all have 10 seconds, 15 seconds to convert I like to say muggle, but someone who's never played a board game. What is going to be your one line to really sell them on why they should try board games?
Goodness.
That is.
I would ask for a little bit more time, and I
Okay, no time constraint.
Yeah.
But you can tell they're not going to stand there and listen to you.
well,
for
you
10
have to
minutes.
show them. You have to pick something that would be fun. And I mean, there's plenty of cool little games out there that you could do that might catch their eye. But I mean, part of it is you get to know. I don't know that I could convince somebody just that I'd just first met, but in conversation, right? I think that I could get them excited about something if we were to pull out a simple game. One of the fun games that we love is Strike, where it's just throwing the dice in the in the bowl, which is probably what the game was originally.
Sure.
And it's super fun, and people get into it. There are some that don't think it's a game, just it's an activity. That's probably something that James would say.
But it's still fun.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Activity or not,
love Strike.
whatever
Yeah.
category you want to put it in.
Yeah.
It's the elevator pitch.
Yeah.
What if
Elevator
somebody
pitch
told you,
game.
Nikki, they love Sudoku?
Okay.
What game would you recommend to them?
Teach you.
Teach you.
Yeah.
Really? I've heard
Never
a
played
lot of.
T2? Oh wow.
I've heard a lot of good things.
It's a partnership game, and it's very good. It's funny that you say Sudoku. I don't know if I would.
Teach you? The game. There's the games
numbering?
and the numbering and the
guess so.
rating of it would make Sudoku be more interactive with other people.
So we've got Catan again. Is there any other game that you'd say is like recently come out that's very easy to get a hold of? Might be even a little easier to get into.
Well, Azul is probably that one. Actually, is a neat game because on the upper level, it is very simple. You're just drafting the pieces that you want to be able to place it on the board. But it has a deeper level where there's the whole stabbing each other, trying to get somebody to be stuck with 15 tiles or something, which I know you have experience with.
Yeah, my son, we play a lot of Azul, and he doesn't even care about his own score. He only wants to. And actually, I think that's how he always wins.
Is it?
Because my scores are always dramatically impacted by the tiles that he makes me take at the end, which are negative points.
It's not, unless you keep doing that, which I guess maybe you do, it's not that hard. And it's a great, simple game, and it's super inviting and beautiful, right? It's got amazing components. and it is a light enough game, but it does have the depth that's pretty awesome. That brings it above. Last year it won the SDJ award, and I almost felt it could have been a Kennerspiel.
What's the SDJ?
SDJ, the
What's the
Spiel des Jahres.
SDJ?
SDJ, the Spiel des Jahres is the German Game of the Year award, and it's a big deal. There's in Germany, families pay attention. The media pays attention to it, and that's the game that Grandma gives the families for Christmas.
Yeah.
And the Kennerspiel is the next step up.
Okay.
It's slightly more advanced. I bet this one probably would be a Kennerspiel now, maybe.
Nowadays, maybe, yeah.
And this won the Spiel des Jahres in '95, I believe.
Okay.
And so that one's a fantastic game, and it really did deserve. It was one of those ones where you've played it and you're like, Azul was one of the ones you played and you're like, oh my gosh, this is going to win. This is fantastic.
Right. I know we've said it previously, but Settlers being a modern classic, it has a lot of the elements. It has a lot of the elements of all the things that we just talked about. Aha moments, social interaction,
Absolutely.
Backstabbing, traitory, competition.
Yeah.
You know, just plain strategy of how I'm going to get the resources that I need to build the thing that I need.
Right.
Right. Like,
Right.
I think that's why it's so popular. Why it's a worldwide thing, right?
It still brings people into the hobby. That's how great of a game it is, for sure.
We call those gateway
games.
games.
Yeah. This one seems a little heavier, but people still find it all the time. It's one of those deals where if somebody can teach you the game, it really helps, right? Somebody that's fantastic at teaching. That's where the true strength of this hobby is, where there's a bunch of people that are advocates for games. Or I call them us gaming ambassadors, right?
Sure.
Where we promote the hobby and we do our best to try to show it in the best light.
Right. Make it fun, make it, if it's a game we already know, we're not going to go in there and be the cutthroat guys because we know the best tactical way to do it, because that's not going to make a new game player or someone new to just that particular game enjoy the game at all.
And we've talked about it on previous episodes, but this is the biggest barrier to people
rule
playing
book.
board games,
It
right?
is.
No one looks at this and goes, I'm really excited about reading a 16-page manual about how to play this game. But what's crazy, right, is like when you get this boiled down to what actually are the actions, it's so much easier.
Yeah.
So if you, like you're saying, if you've got someone who can facilitate that, like Dave on game
he's
night that does it well, it just makes that experience streamlined.
There's a lot of people out there. That's what's really great about this time. There's so much on YouTube that is helpful to everybody. You spoke about Rodney earlier. He's fantastic. He really is a great teacher. The playthrough that we do is I think, the strong part.
Sure.
And the discussion. Our discussion is kind of helpful to people.
And
Don't show up to game night with a game that you don't know and throw it down and go, we're going to read the rule book together. Ain't nobody trying to listen to somebody read them a rule book.
It's tough.
No. What is written in that order is usually not the best way to verbally explain.
Yep.
So someone that can digest a rule book and come at it in a verbal, exciting way is really great.
And especially if somebody can show me, because I'm more of a visual learner, you know? I know there's a lot of people who would prefer text, but like me, I need to see things happen. And so when you can show me where the things go, I'm like, okay, all right. Even as I'm reading the rule book, I set the game up and do each step on the board so I can see it.
Absolutely.
Otherwise,
It's hard though. I mean, everybody's excited to play the new game, and so there's plenty of people teaching a game from the rule book, which is absolutely not the way to do it. And we're spoiled because we basically structure our show. People come to us and teach us games, and we're super lucky.
It is like a little Christmas present. Somebody teaches you a game that you want to play.
Yeah, absolutely.
So game night. When does that have a regular schedule? When does that come out?
Every Thursday we have an episode comes out, and we just started the new season, so we're moving fast.
Yeah.
But the SDJs were part of that. We cover all of those games, and that could be up to 9 different games.
Right, every year.
Every year, yeah.
Just for that 9 episodes.
And that's the beginning
just
of
for
our
that.
season now. Yeah.
I need to edge my way in and come get in on a game night.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Totally.
Well, now that you're in LA, you got to come over.
I'll wear my shirt.
Yeah,
Does that mean
yeah,
the number one fan get to come in? So where can people find you, follow you online, social medias if they want to know all the things that Lincoln and Nikki are up to?
He's the best one.
I post the most, but I mostly post just about the show. But I'm on Twitter at HeccubusTwit, HeccubusTwit. It's not really a good name.
Well, it's okay. We'll have a graphic right here.
And I'm also, of course, on BoardGameGeek. I'm Heccubus on BoardGameGeek, and you subscribe to me there and see what we post about there as well.
Yeah.
I got Chili Bean on BoardGameGeek is my thing. Chili Bean MP is my Twitter, but I look at it for cute animals mostly. I don't do too much post.
No judgment here. There's no judgment here. We all like a good
Like
cat
at the
video.
end of the day, it's like, oh, yeah.
Cat videos. I got you. We're all family here. It's fine. Well, thank y'all for joining me.
I wasn't
wondering how that
sure
was
there.
going.
I'm
Yeah,
not
no,
sure
yeah,
either.
yeah.
I just did it. It just happened. And let's play a little Settlers.
Okay.
All right. If you're interested in Settlers of Catan, click the link below to support the show and buy your copy today. Make sure to come back to Gamma Ray for more episodes of Starting Roll.